What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Heston. I got an LS Swap G-Body. I got an LS Swap Mazda RX-7 drift car that we've been working on. So if you're a regular watcher, you've seen this car before, you notice it's back in the shop. That must be a good thing or it's a bad thing. According to the thumbnail, it's a pretty bad thing because the Mazda, but it leads into new things, so we're gonna put this car back together. Unfortunately, the Mazda sits over here. It still runs and drives, but it's got a knock in the bottom end, so it needs a new motor. So it's just sitting outside until we can get to that thing. In the meantime, we are going to put this G-Body back together. I went ahead and got it in the shop, got the hood off, but as you can tell, we are missing tons of pieces. We also knocked the trim off over the winter, which exposed a little bit more rust, so we got to get that fixed up. We got to get a fuel system back in this car. We got the seats right here that I just ordered. They can go in. We got to patch the floor all back in now that the cage is done. Get the shifter area patched back in. And I think now is a good time to do it because I'm waiting on a spacer to put this 5.3 on the new transmission, which got a new stall converter, but it does not fit on the flywheel. I'll put a picture up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But while we wait, I got a little bit of sheet metal. I got the seats, and it needs to be done. I got to fix up these brake lines for the handbrake. They're just kind of in there. So we are going to be working on that stuff today. Okay, so I got my trusty dandy wrench here, and as you can see, the top line is loose. It does not leak mostly, but I can't get this fitting out or this fitting out. So I'm just going to take this whole handbrake setup out of here for now. We can replace it at a later date if the car still drives through its brakes at like 2,800 RPM. But it did just fine without the handbrake. I thought it would be fun to maybe try to stall it up a little farther, but I ended up breaking a whole bunch of stuff in the process of having fun testing out the new big old handbrake, and I was sliding around. I had a bunch of different stiffness bushings and twisted a transmission right in half. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out. I'm not gonna fight it. We can put it back in later. I am excited to use my fancy new little pipe cutter though. I picked this up at our local swap meet for just a couple bucks. I see it's pretty much a knockoff of the other ones. Maybe the other ones are a knockoff of this one, who knows. But you can buy the replacement blades and everything for it, and these fit in a tight spot. I definitely don't need to use it here, but I want to use it because I've never used it. Got you guys propped up on the roll cage and the seat bar. I would imagine this is probably going to make a mess a little bit, maybe. Hopefully not, but I can't seem to do anything in one of my race cars without something making a mess or losing some blood. It's getting a little bit out of hand around here. I haven't had a video upload in a while because I've been really trying to focus in on getting the Mazda done so we could get a video out driving around as the first official drive. And then as you heard in the beginning of the video, the bottom end has a knock in it, so it will not be going anywhere. Our trip to LS Fest, Texas is more than likely canceled due to it. I may or may not be able to get this car done in time, but I don't think the financials will be there by the time I get everything I need for this car. But I'm never going to count it out because anything is possible. It just takes a little bit of work. Once I get this thing out, I suppose I could probably come in here with a vacuum and get some of the dirt and other stuff out and wipe all this brake fluid up before it rusts the car too bad. All right, update time. I'm using my CAD program once again, Cardboard Art Design if you're new, to fill in the corners. I'm not after absolute perfection. You could come in here, spray some bed liner, and probably never see it. Maybe kiss these welds with a grinder just to knock them flat. I'm going to go ahead and take a can of bed liner and spray all the spots when I'm done with them and then do the floor. I'm not after absolute perfection. I just want to kind of cover it up. I might even just paint it black for now. But let's continue. I got one more piece made. I'll show you guys how it fits, and then I'm gonna make it out of metal, hopefully, and bend it, and then put it in, hopefully. So we are going to take our piece right around the cage here. I got a line on it where I would like it to be bent, and then it will sit down in here. I should be able to weld that shut if I choose to. If not, it will at least be welded into place to close in most of the hole. And on the back side, it's just gonna be open because there's no way to get anything in there. So we took a couple days break on the G-Body. I'm headed back to the shop now. I wanna say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. All right, so we're back on this G-Body again. I'm gonna finish buttoning up the floor, but this spacer that I'm gonna use in here, I wanna talk about it real quick. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I did order the other style spacer. Turns out it is actually the same as this one. So the proper flex plate in my case, this time would be the spacer and then the flat flex plate. And that is a 4L80E flex plate. But I'm just gonna take this one and I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. My goal is to get the torque converter to sit flat in here by trimming off some of this side of it. But the step in here might stop me from doing it. So if it does, I am just going to polish some of this lip out of it. And hopefully we can get our torque converter to sit flat against the flex plate. Is it gonna work? I have not even the slightest idea, but let me be the one to find out so you don't have to. As far as patching the floor back in, the driver's side is done. I'm working on the passenger side. I do need to do the front two, but those ones are gonna be kind of tricky considering the pipe is so low. But I need to get this side back on done first, and then we will worry about these front two. Then I'll get the seats in, we'll get the seat belts bolted back up, and then it should finally be time to get the motor and tranny in as long as that spacer works. Okay, that is both sides done. I went ahead and got the front ones in. I just finished up on this one. They are far from perfect, but once I spray paint them, you will have a harder time seeing them unless you know they're there like me and you guys now. But that is all of these holes patched in. I'm still debating on doing these ones because the whole entire back piece needs a firewall in it. Okay, so the floor sill is painted. I decided to hit the down bars of the roll cage on both sides, so those are not black. The rest of it is mostly hidden by the seats, and I don't feel like pulling absolutely everything out to paint. So that's what it's gonna get for now. As far as the torque converter goes, I need to get this gap out of here. I've measured it is roughly an 1/8 inch to 3/16 of an inch. So what I have done is I took my dial caliper and I have scribed an 1/8 inch line all the way around this. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to take it out. I have not fully decided how I'm gonna cut this yet, but if you look inside of here, there is about an 1/8 inch gap to the shoulder. So I think if I just take it off, we will be really, really close to where I can just grind it the next 16th if I need it. And then I could come in here with a scroll type sander or a Dremel, take this shoulder out just a little bit more, and then it should seat good and it should bolt up flat to the flex plate. I'll either stick the grinder in the bench vise and then go around like I was on the chop saw, or I'll stick this in the vise, take it down to the line, spin it a little bit, take it down to the line, and keep going, so on and so forth. But this is my solution to this right now, and I really hope it works. Luckily, if I go just a hair too much, everything should still work. Okay, I am extremely nervous about this. I'm not a machinist to say the least, and I don't have high-tech tools, but I'm willing to bet I can get this done, and so can you. So I'm gonna flip you around, show you what I got going on. Super simple, super easy. First things first, we got a bench vise, and we could have put the grinder in here and spun this on the wheel as it was going, but I put it in here. I'm gonna work it around as much as I can, then I'll spin it. I'll do the same. It's a little bit hard to see the scribe line on the aluminum piece. The goal is to take it down to the line with a brand new 60 grit flap disc. I made a special trip to Harbor Freight for a brand new flap disc. I probably could have got it off a couple other ones, but I want a brand new one just so that can't be my excuse of why it don't turn out. I got my safety gogs. I got a single glove. I think the other one's on my kitchen counter, so one's gonna do for now. That should be just fine. I just gotta be able to spin it so I can keep going around it. And then when I'm done with that, we shall come to this inside lip and take all the burrs out of it. Well, as you can see, there's absolutely no turning back now. We are down to our scribe line. So it is time to rotate it and keep going. All right, so we got the spacer trimmed down. I made it to the scribe line. It may or may not have to go just a little bit more, but I kept it as flat as I could, so hopefully it don't rock too much. But if the snout hits the inside that was already machined, I think it should hold it square enough to get it bolted up. And then once it's bolted up, it ain't going nowhere. So one nice thing is we can try to fit it without putting it all up against the flex plate, because we want to for sure touch the inside of the machined lip before we do anything. And it looks like we got about a 1/16 that we could go yet. Okay, so I ran it on the chop saw to square up my cut a little bit, and I ran my dial caliper around it. It is very close, so this should work just fine. It has fully seated on the snout now down into the groove. It was about there to start with. Now we're fully seated. And would you look at this? We now touch our flex plate. The other way around this would have been the flat flex plate with the spacer before it, but I have no doubt this one's gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the transmission bolted back up to the motor. We'll get this thing bolted up, and then we should be able to get the motor in the car. But I'll leave that for next video, because I'm gonna have to run to the parts store to get short little tiny bolts for this guy. I don't have any right now. So I will see you guys with a motor and tranny put together and a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. The interior should be dry enough with paint to put the seats in, so we can do that yet in this video, I guess. And just like that, we are together. We got good spacing. Our torque converter spins freely, so we can go ahead and pull it out to the flex plate now. And then it will seat the snout even farther into the spacer, and we will be good to go. So I'm gonna finish bolting this up, and then we will go ahead and get them seats put in the car. And that's gonna be a wrap on this video, because I don't even really remember what's all in it. It's been spread out over a few days. Mother's Day was in there. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And we need to get this thing buttoned up ASAP. Another thing I just noticed is we don't have fittings in our transmission for the lines. So I will have to get the fittings for this. We will rubber hose it the whole entire way. Whether it's AN hose or regular hose, I'll decide later. The car itself just has regular rubber hoses running to the tranny cooler. There's a spot that lays on the frame rail that has hard line and then hose clamps connecting two rubber hose ends. And that's normally where I split it to take the motor and transmission out anyways. So this will work out fine. I just gotta grab the brass fittings for that. But let's get these seats buttoned up. I need to get the hardware and brackets out of the box yet. And then we will flip these over, get them bolted on the seats, and get the seats bolted into the car. I welded all of my nuts on, so I just have to spin the bolts in and tighten them up. It's a little bit of advice from building things by yourself, building things in tight areas. It just kind of sucks to get two arms in places sometimes. So I like to make everything one person accessible. Another thing, if you're new to the channel, you will find that this is a channel of making things work, not buying things. Just like the spacer situation. I bought that spacer for $13 on Amazon, and I just wanted to see if it was going to be different than my other spacer. It wasn't, but I felt more comfortable cutting a sleeve than I did trying to get the edge of a flange moved in flat. And as you can tell, it worked. All I used was a grinder, so this channel is a minimalist channel, and we build fast-ass cars. This car has been 11 seconds, no doubt. It's fast enough. I thought I needed a cage in it, that's for sure. And I've driven a lot of G-bodies, so I'm pretty comfortable in one. Well, apparently these seats are not as straightforward as I thought they were. I need to flip this whole thing upside down. I don't really know. The last set that I received, it was all put together already. So apparently for $60 less, you just have to assemble it. And for $60, I can assemble it. And naturally, these seat brackets are narrower than the old seat brackets. So I will have to weld in some new tabs like these ones, probably one there, and probably the other one right next to that one. And then I am noticing that you cannot stick a bolt head in the track and turn it. So I'm going to weld that nut in the middle of this hole, and then it won't be loose and floppy in there. As you can see, it holds it just fine, but when I go to really tighten them up, I think it might slip because there's really not that much holding it. So I'm just gonna put a little tack weld each side, which also means I get to take that seat back apart so I can weld on it and get the nuts in it. So this is going to get wrapped up in the next video also. Thank you guys for watching. I hope we got something accomplished here. I really don't think we did. Other than we got a rod knock in the Mazda and we drug this thing in the shop, I feel like we've done absolutely nothing. I know we've patched in the floor. We had to work on that little spacer to get it to work, but I still feel like we've gotten nothing done yet. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm hoping it's coming up in a day or two. It depends what else is going to fight me and what I can get filmed and what I can't get filmed, depending on what's going on in my personal life. So bear with me, but this thing is going back together this week. There will be one more build video, and then we are going testing in this car, and I would like to make it to the drag strip to see how fast this car actually is. We'll load it up on the stall, launch it. We'll pull it back in the pits, put it on Giggle Juice, and we'll pull it right back out, and we'll see what kind of a pass it makes.